Meanwhile, a Ukrainian court ruled that the famine was a crime of genocide by the Bolshevik leaders. There is, however, some debate as to whether this program was an ethnic cleansing of Ukraine, an artificially induced famine to save Soviet peasants, or if it was a policy failure of the part of Stalin. This issue is also related to the current political structure of Ukraine, as it has been legally stated when the anti-Russian faction was in power that the famine was an attempt to cleanse the Ukrainian ethnic group from the Soviet Union. However, since the pro-Russian faction came to power, the official position has changed every year, with the Ukrainian president challenging it head-on.
The death toll is estimated at a minimum of 1 million and as high as 15 million. However, it widely accepted that about 3 million people died. In general, scholars do not accept the theory of Stalin's intentional genocide, but they also do not deny the man-made established theory of the Ukrainian famine.
Many historians only deny the genocide theory, not the fact that the Stalin regime made the event happen. This great famine was obviously man-made and resulted in a huge sacrifice, killing 10% of the Ukrainian population. It is also a historical fact that Stalin's government manipulated information at the government level to cover up the facts about this famine. The claim by some Russian nationalists and Stalinists who say that this event didn't happen is clear distortion of history.
However, the academic community is skeptical as to whether this tragedy was indeed an ethnic cleansing, that is, a genocide actively carried out by Stalin.
Common sense suggests that it is difficult to understand why an attempt to undermine a nation's capabilities by deliberately killing millions of people was made. A question that arises regardless of whether the view is pro-Western or pro-Russian.
Especially in Ukraine, a new nation-state, some insist that the famine was ethnic cleansing to stop nationalism, which doesn't make it true. Right now, it is hard to believe that an international annihilation of the Ukrainian people took place, since the Soviet leader after Stalin was actually Ukrainian. This view is especially persuasive if you consider the fact that the national division between Ukrainians and Russians started in earnest in modern times, with none other than the Stalin-style national autonomy policy. British journalist Gary Jones visited Ukraine in 1933, came across the scene of a great famine and exposed it to the international community.
Western reporters in Moscow at the time were generally pro-socialist, so they interfered with Jones' coverage as false or exaggerated, and in the end, in most cases, not even a single line of his article was published. Jones later published an article in the New York Evening Post after persistent efforts, but one of his closest correspondents, Walter Duranty of the New York Times, published a rebuttal.
Jones was later barred from entering the Soviet Union and died mysteriously in Inner Mongolia in 1935. His bereaved family claimed it was a Soviet hit, but the truth was never revealed. Child 44, his mystery novel set in the Soviet Union, was published. The main text of this novel summarizes the Great Famine in one sentence. Adults have shrunk like children, and children have grown old like adults.
An American photographer who visited the region in 1937 said that he had seen several children of color in Africa and Southeast Asian colonies with their ribs exposed eating grass.
However, he said Ukraine was the first time he had seen white children eating grass in the same way. Grain distribution was halted for half of Ukrainian collective farms, and the whole of Ukraine faced a famine.
As a result, it is estimated that by the end of 1933, about 10 to 25% of the Ukrainian population had died. In severely affected areas, about 25,000 people died at a rate of 17 per minute. Cases of cannibalism were reported in 33 regions. It is said that on the border of the Kingdom of Romania and the Second Republic of Poland, which neighbored Ukraine, the bodies of peasants killed while trying to escape were said to have formed a mountain. It is said that most of them were killed by Soviet gunfire, not Romanian and Polish soldiers. The Ukrainian government has officially demanded an apology from the Russian government for the atrocities committed by Stalin and compensation for the victims' families.
The Russian government acknowledged the atrocities committed by the Soviet Union and Stalin against Ukraine. But now that the Soviet Union has collapsed, it has refused to pay compensation to Ukraine, saying that it is absurd for the Ukrainians to ask for compensation from Russia.
During the Soviet era, Ukrainians had strong national feelings, and these days, the Russian invasion of Ukraine will exacerbate negative national feelings between the two countries.
Thank you for watching the video. Holodomor Part II provided by History and Current Events. I'm Helena and Mia. Katie, Leah and Tony have contributed so far as narrators. Thank you.